Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Wyatt's Metal podcast. 2 in a row. I know. Look at that. I'm doing pretty well. I'm proud of myself. uh, Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Happy Halloween week, I guess. Yeah, since I'm not going to be doing another podcast before Halloween, this is the official Halloween episode, I guess. Want to say what's up to everybody here. We've got Ricardo, new member. Thanks for that. That's awesome. What's up, man? Missile Girl with the pumpkin. Susan Skull. Matt Griffin. Hello, spooky people. Hope everybody's feeling very spooky this week. It's the one time of the year where metalheads get to embrace how they are normally, and everyone just thinks like, "Oh, you're very festive." So you can wear your most grotesque shirts anywhere you want, and everyone's like, "Hey, you're really in the spirit." Olivia, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see everybody. Planet Killer, Lost and Slaughtered, what's up? I like that Spooky Wyatt Wednesday. It definitely feels like it here a bit. It's one of the rare days in Southern California where it's actually kind of overcast. Perfect for watching a bunch of cheesy bad horror movies. Planet Killer asks, you gonna see the movie on Friday? I'm not sure which movie you're referring to. Um, Hope everyone has cool plans for Halloween. Unlike me, I do not. Every single Halloween, every single year when it gets to Halloween, October time, I'm like, fuck yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I want to do all this cool shit. And I end up usually doing nothing and just watching old horror movies at home, which is what I've been doing so far. But it's a great excuse for it. I've been watching the old, like, really classic movies. Like, I started to put on the original Phantom of the Opera from, like, 1920s last night. I watched Dracula, the original one, which is pretty good. I'm planning on watching the original King Kong because that's not one of my favorite movies, but for Halloween, it's just fucking awesome. That movie is sick. Um, Definitely a lot to talk about for Halloween stuff. Let me know what your guys' favorite Halloween movies are, what your favorite Halloween bands are. That's actually my next video I have coming out before Halloween Day. Will be the top 10 metal bands to listen to for Halloween, the happiest day of the year. William Buckley, what's up, man? Um, Jeffrey, sup, guys? Yay, spooky. Yay, spooky. Everyone gets to embrace the spooky season now. um, but yeah, so I'm curious what everybody thinks the best Halloween movie is, best horror movie is, what you guys like doing to celebrate Halloween. But before we get to that, we do have a little bit of metal news that I wanted to pull up. Um, One of my favorite festivals, the first festival I ever went to, Hellfest, announced their first couple bands. And this being a channel where I talk a lot about festivals, specifically Hellfest, let's talk about it and go over it before we dive into more spooky stuff. So, these are the first bands Hellfest has announced for 2024. There will be a whole shitload more. Yeah, plus over 160 more bands. Goddamn. Um, but these are the first announcements. We've got Foo Fighters, Queens of the Stone Age, The Offspring, Megadeth, Dropkick Murphys, Royal Blood, Bad Omens, All Them Witches, Baby Metal, Biohazard, Bruce Dickinson, Bruhira, Brutus, Dark Tranquility, Dimmu Borgir for one of their rare shows, Eternal Champion, Fu Manchu, Korpiklani, Kelvertalk, Madball, Nova Twins, Rhapsody of Fire, Satyricon, and the Interrupters. Now, I will say right off the bat, just this first impression of it, it doesn't get me super excited. I'm gonna be honest. It's kind of like it's cool enough to where if I was already there, I would enjoy seeing some of these bands. but it doesn't make me want to go out of my way to try to fight through the hordes of people getting tickets and figure it all out. Uh, Foo Fighters, like, I've never seen them. I would enjoy seeing them, but for Hellfest, like, I know Hellfest is way more mainstream now than they used to be. I feel like they do a pretty good job at still keeping underground prominent there, but it's just I don't know. That's a download headliner. um, like they're not the worst. I would think I would enjoy it if I was there, but it's I don't know. It's not impressed. Same with Queens of the Stone Age. Both them and Foo Fighters are bands like, yeah, I mean, if I was there and they were playing, sure, check it out. But I'm not like, oh fuck yeah, Foo Fighters are playing Hellfest. Um, the Offspring, I've seen them a bunch of times. They're always great live, but they're kind of like, oh, they're there again. You know, Korn will probably play too. Megadeth too. I think Megadeth is always at Hellfest, so it's kind of just like a automatic point given. Dropkick Murphys also plays a lot at Hellfest. I really love them. I've seen them a bunch of times, and they're super entertaining. Um, but again, it's not like, oh shit, Dropkick. Royal Blood, Bad Omens, nah. Really, what I would be excited for here is, I mean, Brujera is always awesome. Dimmu Borgir, it's one of their few shows. They are, as I said to my friend the other day, the weekend warriors of black metal now. They play only once when all the planets align and when they decide to. uh, it's weird. I remember when they were like an active touring band. I saw Dimmu a lot way back in the day. And now, what do they play like 4 shows every 2 years now or something? Not that it wouldn't be cool. Um, yeah, meh. It's meh. It will get a lot better, I'm sure. It's, with over 160 more bands to announce, of course, there's going to be some really cool shit on there. But first impression for me, I'm not stoked on it. Let's see what some people are saying here about the lineup. Olivia asked, "Did anyone here was able to get Hellfest ticket today?" I was number 116,000 in the queue. Yeah, Hellfest sells out pretty much before any bands get announced nowadays. So if any new people want any chance of going to Hellfest, you need to find out exactly when the tickets are going on sale, and you need to be on it. I think I've said before, I've woken up at like 4 a.m. just to buy Hellfest tickets before, because they will disappear quickly. Missile Girl says Dimmu and Satyricon is freaking awesome. Neither tour that much. Yeah, they're two of the better bands on the lineup for sure. Two of the more Hellfest appropriate bands playing, I think. I wonder if Satyricon will clash at the same time as Foo Fighters. Pretty weak lineup. I am gonna agree so far. Photo Bear says that looks like a DWP lineup. Kind of does, to be honest. Yeah, that's more what you'd see at an American festival for like Aftershock. That's kind of what you would expect. Ernest, and I saw someone else commented earlier saying Mike Portnoy is back with Dream Theater. Yeah, huge news in the metal world. Mike Portnoy has returned to Dream Theater for the first time in I don't remember how fucking long. Uh, which is pretty cool. I'm honestly not big on Dream Theater, but I know Mike Portnoy is a great drummer, so cheers for them and their fans. I'm not big into prog at all. I don't have the attention span for it. Yeah, but the Hellfest thing, that was all pretty much I wanted to cover right here in the beginning. Get all this news out of the way. Ocarina says, yeah, Mike Portnoy returning to Dream Theater is the best news I've gotten all year. I'm sure for Dream Theater fans, it's going to be huge. So props to you guys. I'm going to talk about Halloween stuff now. After I chug my water, or vodka. How do you guys know what it is? So For my next video that I'm gonna have up the next couple days is the 10 best metal bands to listen to for Halloween. My personal choices. I can't remember the exact order I put them in, but obviously have to put Rob Zombie on there. He's like he's the incarnation of Halloween, basically. Um, when we just saw him, he played most of the Hellbilly Deluxe album, which was fucking great. Amazing album. He's always delivers as a performer. That's something I love about Rob. His live shows never disappoint, even if sometimes his newer albums aren't great. He still kills live. But the classics, Dracula, always been one of my favorite songs. Um, and the rare breed of does horror movies too. I think pretty much everybody loves House of a Thousand Corpses, despite how really fucked up that movie is. Um, Devil's Rejects, of course. I never saw the third one after that. Was it Three from Hell? Trying to remember. Oh, his Halloween movies. I was telling my friend the other day that I liked his Halloween movies when they came out when I was like 15, 16, and I have not seen them since. So I would definitely need to rewatch to be sure. I know they are not popular with not only classic Halloween fans, but Rob Zombie himself. He's stated in plenty of interviews he had a fucking horrible experience making those movies. um, Catch up here with you guys. Matt Griffin's So Bad It's Good rock metal horror movies Black Roses. I don't know what that movie is. I want to go. I know there's a bunch of cheesy shit like horror metal theme B movies. I've been rewatching some of the classics recently. I just put on. I think I watched one of the classic like Friday 13th movies the other day, and it's funny. Growing up, I loved. I mean, I still do love 80s horror, all the B movie cheese, like blood over the top everywhere. And watching them now, they're still fun, but part of me is like, damn, some of these movies are really bad. It's like you have to really put your thinking like aside and just be like, hey, blood. Um, Mota asked, what's the worst band you ever saw live? That's a hard one. Damn. One's that one that really stood out to me. It wasn't even like that shit where like I couldn't couldn't stand it or anything. But growing up when I was young in my like preteen, cool, edgy teenager days, I was really into the Murder Dolls. I still love their first album; it was really good. But I never saw them when they were kind of like big, and then when they reunited and made that really bad second album, um, they toured, and I went to see them, and I specifically remember having the thought at the end of the show. I thought to myself, I could have stayed home. Just I don't know, it felt like there was no energy, no, like, passion to it at all. It really just was like, I woulda had a better time probably sitting home, smoking weed, and listening to the album rather than just actually go to the show. Um, Trying to remember more. Of course, I've seen really shit performances from bands, but I'll have to ponder that a little bit as I come back to more of these ones. Um I saw Marilyn Manson a couple times, and definitely oh, yeah, the first time I saw him was Hellfest 2009, and he was fucking horrible. Seemed like he was wasted and just kinda moaning throughout the songs. Uh, and to be fair, the last time I saw him was 2019 at the Ozfest New Year's, and he fucking killed it. He was amazing. So, it depends how sober Manson likes to be for when he wants to play live. Um Planet Killer says, I like horror movies like Friday 13th just because of how stupid it is. Yeah. Like I was saying, I love the Freddy Krueger movies, Nightmare on Elm Street, but some of them, especially as you go through the sequels, are really like, man, these are bad. I watched Freddy versus Jason the other day. Love that movie, but it's really like there's that's a fucking great movie of like classic early 2000s. It's got the kind of what new metal soundtrack to it and just gratuitous stupid gore that doesn't even make any sense, but still was fun. Uh like at the end of the movie, uh spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Freddy versus Jason, which is your own fault. But at the end of the movie, they both basically kill each other. The Freddy falls into the water. No, Jason falls in the water, and the last remaining chick picks up his machete and like looks at him and drops it in the water like I respect. And I couldn't help but think like he just murdered all of your friends. And the movie wants you to be like, nah, they teamed up at the end. Cool. Okay. Uh Sorry, I have absolutely no idea how to possibly pronounce your name, but are you planning to go to Sick New World in April? I was debating that. And actually, let's pull up that lineup too, since you brought that up. Because I did go to Sick New World, the first one this year, and had a very kind of mixed time on it because I still enjoyed myself here and there, but it was done very shittily, I'll say. Um, if you didn't see my video, highlighting pretty much everything about Sick New World. The lineup was pretty killer, but goddamn, they second stages were a complete fucking disaster. Everything was rushed. You could tell the bands were pissed off. A lot of the bands did actively complain about their sets were getting shortened. Their sets were getting pushed way back. It was a fucking mess. So that didn't stop Sick New World from throwing together the next year. And I think I said last time was like, I hope that it goes well and everything kicks off great and there's no issues. I want every festival to be good, although an issue already is that it's at the same location, the Los Angeles or Las Vegas festival grounds, which is just a giant empty parking lot, which already sucks. So red lineup is System of Down again, which I was really surprised about. Slipknot, Danny Elfman, Bring Me the Horizon, who I didn't know had this new logo, and for a while I was like, who the fuck is this band showing up? Alice in Chains, Perfect Circle, Ice Nine Kills, good Halloween band. Motionless in White, I think that says Lorna Shore. Primus, Slow Dive, I have no idea who that is. Wage War, Black Veil Brides, Swans, Spirit Box, which is cool. I saw them for the first time at the last Sick New World, and they probably had the best set out of everybody. I really enjoyed them. Bad Omens, who I have never listened to, but I keep seeing going around everywhere. Duster, which is a weird fucking name for a band. The Garden, Loathe, Vows, Ginger, Slaughter to Prevail. Those two were cool. I would definitely go to see them. Lamb of God, of course, going to be great. A lot of injuries on that fucking blacktop when they play. And I don't want to go through the whole lineup. This will take a long time, but Combi Christ is sick live. I saw them at Hellfest. They were fucking great. Knocked Loose, I've heard, is pretty violent live, I think. Baby metal is a thing that people watch for some reason. Powerhead 5000 is there. They will play their one awesome song, which is cool. I don't honestly know if they have other songs, but I like that one that everyone knows. Same with Nonpoint, honestly. Wednesday 13 be weird out in the Vegas blacktop in the sun. Yeah, so the lineup is good for sure. I think it's better than last year's. There's lots of bands I'd like to see. I haven't seen VNV Nation in a long time. But the immediate red flags are same location and only one day, and that was the big fucking problem. Was all of that shoved into one day. They had a good idea to where I believe it was three side stages because there was two main ones. They had rotating like stages, like what do you call like a lazy Susan stage, where a band would be playing it on the back, another band, like the drums would be set up, and then they would rotate, which was a good idea. But for some reason, they didn't fucking do it properly because they would rotate and then they would still be setting up for like 40 minutes. So if they got that to work, obviously that would definitely help. But another big issue too was the stages were so close together. It was really stupid. Unless you were standing like right in front of the band, you could easily hear pretty much every other band playing at the same time. Especially throwing together System of a Down and Slipknot. Those are two like very big, clear headlining bands. So I'm really surprised that they didn't split this into 2 days. Because I mean, I would have far less concerns if this was basically split down right the middle, and System of a Down headline one day, Slipknot head down the other day. That would make sense, and I feel like would be better for everyone. But that's not what they're doing. um, so I have all of the concerns that what occurred this year will occur again. Not that it was anywhere near like some fucking catastrophe like Blue Ridge was, but I have nothing that shows me that any of the red flags have been addressed. That being said, it is a pretty good lineup. I would like to see a lot of these bands. And in all honesty, if it goes shit again, it will probably make a good video for my channel because my channel got pretty good traction off of making my Sick New World where I said it was kind of shit. So it is kind of a win-win for me where if it goes well, I get to go to this pretty sweet festival and see these awesome bands. If it goes shit, I still get to enjoy its like kind of failures and get to make a video of it for everybody to laugh at together. Maybe Metal Sucks will make another article on me again. So yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna go. It is kind of a win-win if you look at it that way. I hope that it goes far fucking better than was addressed or what than I addressed before, but we'll see. Good luck to Sick New World. Jeffrey says Danzig was the worst for me, probably because I just don't like his music, but he sounded awful. It probably depends what year you saw him, because I've seen him a couple times, and the first 2 or 3 times, yeah, were definitely pretty bad. But the last 2 times I've seen Danzig, he fucking killed it. It was really good, like weirdly good. But if you don't like his music, you're probably not going to be sold on it now if you weren't already. Hello from Denmark. What's up, man? Uh, I saw Nonpoint this year for the first time. They're fucking great live. Interesting. I've never seen them, so yeah, I probably will go to that show. Lamb of God and Baby Metal in the same lineup is weird for me. Yeah, Baby Metal in general is kind of weird for me. So, I mean, also Lamb of God and V&V Nation are in the same lineup is pretty weird too. But interesting lineup for sure. Good luck to it. Let's start with some of the Halloween talk. I'm gonna drop in. So the bands I was talking about, best bands for Halloween. Rob Zombie, clearly. Alice Cooper, of course. Um, for me, King Diamond. King Diamond has always been one of my favorite artists fucking ever. Merciful Fate, King Diamond together. Obviously, perfect Halloween band, especially if you're at a house party and there's just really fucking annoying people there and you want to scare them all off, put on King Diamond because it will drive away most people who aren't cool. Ghoul, I'm definitely throwing on the list. I grew up in Northern California. Saw Ghoul quite a few times. They are a fucking great band. Death metal, old school death metal with like strong punk elements, surfer elements too, and a whole horror theme to them. If you don't know who Ghoul is, go check them out. They're fucking great. Awesome Halloween band for any like old school death metal people out there. Who else? Oh, let's bring up here. I had tickets to see Cradle of Filth last month, but something came up and I ended up missing the show. Any words of wisdom you can give me to cope? Uh, I don't know. That's pretty serious. Not even post like show depression because that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. But obviously, Cradle of Filth is a great Halloween band. Definitely put them on this season. They sound like kind of a spooky haunted house in a way. Like a haunted house you could hook up in, you know? But yeah, Cradle of Filth is definitely on the list too for uh horror bands, Halloween themed bands. Got a mention for Abbott here, another perfect one. Pretty much all black metal in general is perfect for Halloween. You could just put on a random playlist, it'll work. One of my personal favorites, though, is the classic Mayhem album, Des Mysterious, Dom Sathanas. That one's classic. Come on. It's so raw and edgy, and you listen to that in the spooky season, it's perfect. Ricardo says, I play spooky metal music a couple times on Halloween while handing out candy outside, especially some Iron Maiden. Seeing kids rocking out was awesome. That's cool. Play like Number of the Beast, some of the old school shit, see kids rocking out. Maybe there is hope for the future generation. Probably not, but maybe it's nice to think that sometimes. um, who else did I write down on my list for metal bands? I threw Powerwolf on there because I fucking love them. Am not super big on kind of like symphonic or power metal or what you want to call them, but power metal or I'm power metal. Powerwolf is fucking great. Like old kind of gothic themed symphonic metal. They're basically Sabaton but sing about werewolves and shit. They're super fun band. Shout out for Sam Hain. Yeah, another great one for sure. All Danzig stuff, Misfits. I didn't include Misfits on my list just because I was aiming for metal bands. They're clearly a punk band, but I fucking love Misfits. Walk Among Us is a great fucking album. Photo Bear says Behemoth, the Satanist, good mood music. Yeah. I fucking love that album. The Satanist is one of the best albums ever. Yeah, Behemoth is definitely fits the Halloween vibe for when you want to like get the kids away from your place or all the annoying parents. Put on Behemoth and just scare them off. Shout out for this comment here because I definitely mentioned this band in my video. Okinara says Typo Negative is probably my favorite band for Halloween. Fuck yeah. They're not really theatrical, but they just nail the fall atmosphere for me. Absolutely 100% agree. When it gets to clearly the seasons have changed, it is fall time. Typo Negative is perfect. And they've got some great spooky Halloween music too. They're a great sex band. If you're having sex on Halloween night, put on Typo Negative. It's going to be perfect. Ricardo says, on Halloween, I like transforming young trick-or-treaters into future metalheads someday. Just leak like these subliminal messages, play Venom in the background, and just be like, yeah. Venom for sure is on my list of if you're friends with a bunch of like old school thrashers, like death metal people, I feel like at a Halloween party, you put on Venom, put on one of the Friday 13th movies, and just drink really cheap, shitty beer and have a great fucking time. That sounds like good Halloween to me. That's actually, I think, should be the plan this Friday. The studio where my band, Dark Insanity, practices, a ton of bands practice there. Like pretty much all of the Long Beach death metal scene practices there. Pretty rad. And I guess this Friday we have a big projector there, so we're gonna play some shit old movies and hang out and drink and do all kinds of illegal stuff. It's gonna be awesome. Acid Witch, another great Halloween recommendation. I put Cannibal Corpse on there too, just because I mean, it's pretty perfect. Ooh, Lost and Slaughtered says Marilyn Manson's cover of This Is Halloween is my fave song for Halloween. I might actually agree with you. I really fucking love that cover. It is so good. Which is funny because I might lose a couple subscribers after this next comment. I fucking hate The Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm sorry. I'm going to see the view count drop right now, but I don't know, man. Tim Burton just never did it for me. His movie, I feel like they're just weird for the sake of being weird without really like any point or like edge to it. Just kind of what kind of weird shit can I throw together here? It just does not do it for me. That being said, I really love Manson's cover of that song. That's always on my playlist of for every Halloween. I like this name here. Goat McGoat. Green Lung would be good Halloween music. Lots of organs played, English folklore, devil themes. I have no idea who that is, but I'll definitely check them out. Green Lung. That is interesting. That sounds like something I would like. Chippo says, I might as well play Cattle Decap or Cannibal Corpse while dressing up as Donkey Kong for Halloween. I mean, yeah, that's what I was gonna say in my video is that Halloween season, metalheads can just be yourselves. I can walk into a party looking exactly like this, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, are you the guy from Stranger Things?" And I'll be like, "Sure." Cardo, Ministry, every day is Halloween. Yeah, I was thinking putting Ministry on the list just because they're clearly not a Halloween themed band, but the music does work for it. If I feel like you have a haunted house, you put on Ministry. I feel like I've worked at haunted houses that have probably played Ministry, Combi Christ, that type of shit. So that definitely I feel like can work, especially that song. Um, Photo Bear, old school Skeleton Witch, miss those guys. Yeah, I could see that for a good Halloween B movie party. Um, I think I might be getting a pass for saying I don't like Tim Burton movies. Thank you. Carpathian Forest, Dimmu Borgir, and Nolan Throck. Yeah, love that band. Guar, Portal, Oxy, Catatonia. Pretty much a lot of doom metal in general. A lot of entire genres in general. That's what should be on my videos. Just all black metal. Thanks for watching. See you next week. um, yeah, one sec. For movies, for Halloween movies, I have always stood by, I think the best horror movie ever made is the original Alien. And let's see what everyone in the chat has to say about that. What you guys think the best horror movie is? Let me give my explanation. I really love movies that can do a lot with very, very little. That's a very big selling point to me. The original Alien, obviously, I don't think had much of a budget at all, and does a lot with nothingness in a way. It makes a lot happen with the just blackness of the movie to kind of hide how cheap everything was. Um, and that's what I think is so strong about it. It sets this whole atmosphere with damn near nothing. Like, obviously, if the movie just had the lights on, it wouldn't come close to having the same effect. Uh, Obviously, have the badass Sigourney Weaver, Ripley, great fucking character, and the Xenomorph. Come on, how fucking cool is that thing? Uh, just the whole style of Alien has influenced metal in a lot of ways. Fucking Tom G. Warrior, all of Celtic Frost and Triptychon. Triptychon's great Halloween band too. Um, I feel like, and it still holds up. Watching it, it doesn't feel like, oh, this movie is super dated. This is what people like, but hey, nostalgia. I feel like it still works. Like, if someone hasn't seen the original Alien, I feel like it will still scare the shit out of them, which can't be said for a lot of kind of CGI movies. Um, that's my answer for that. Although, shout out for this comment, anything with Freddy. Freddy is my all-time favorite horror movie killer. I love the sass, the personality. We need something different than just the stone face killers everybody has. The glove is cool as fuck. I remember the first time I ever came across that movie, I was a little kid. I don't remember how old. And I was just flipping through the channels. Back in the day, they had these things called channels. You couldn't just like stream and pull up stuff. There were things on like 24, not 24, maybe like 50 channels at certain times. You young kids will have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. But I was sitting in my room by myself and flipping through the TV, and it turns on to what I come to find out later is the scene where Johnny Depp is in the bed and the fucking hand comes up and pulls him in. And I didn't know what I was watching. It was just a kid in bed. The arm comes up and pulls him down, and the blood shoots everywhere. Amazing, fucking hilarious scene. Fucking traumatized me for a long time. There was no warning of what the hell was going to happen. With that said, despite how probably mentally scarred Freddy did make me, he's still my favorite killer. That shit was he's so funny. Robert Englund was just amazing. Come on. Underrated horror movie Behind the Mask. I don't know what that is either. Interesting. Underrated Halloween movie. It's definitely not a horror movie. Underrated Halloween movie is Rob Zombie's El Super Beasto. Holy fuck, I love that movie so much. I don't think a lot of people actually know about it, but Rob Zombie did this cartoon with like a bunch of comedians. Um and it's just so fucking stupid. It pays it has a lot of characters from like classic horror. It's the main character is this like luchador movie star who's just fucking stupid and he has to like save the world, and his sisters, played by Rob Zombie's wife, is just like this big titted like secret agent. It's fucking hilarious. I recommend The Haunted World of El Super Beasto for those who haven't seen it. It's not scary in any way. It's straight up a comedy. But it's great for Halloween. Photo Bear says Hellraiser. Great choice. Very big with the metal world, obviously. That movie is fucked up. Like, not in a bad way. I mean, I still enjoy it, but a lot of those like kind of old 80s movies, I go back and rewatch. I remember watching them as a kid and loving them being so fun, and now I'm like, these are kind of screwed up. You have to be like pretty fucking demented to think of some of these kills and the way they put it off. I mean, I'm not complaining. They're still entertaining as fuck, but it's like, damn, the 80s was on some really good cocaine. Oh, actually, that will relate to a good kind of subject in terms of horror because growing up, I loved Evil Dead. Still love the original Evil Dead movies. Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, fucking amazing. And the other day, I watched for the first time the new Evil one, Evil Dead Rise, which takes place like in a, I think, modern day apartment in New York with a woman who's possessed, and it was pretty good. Mostly just because the main actress was fucking amazing. She was hilarious. It's worth watching the movie just for her. But at the same time, it didn't have the same kind of like feel to it, I guess, where it was entertaining, but at the same time, not like new. Nothing really like stood out that stuck in my mind. I think it would be good to kind of go back to have a lot of kind of the cheese horror movies where uh someone gets their head cut off and it's just endless fucking stupid gore. The shit B movies, all that fun stuff. I want to catch up with some of you people here. Goat McCoat says, I'm a bitch when it comes to horror movies, but I really enjoy the Scream franchise. Don't feel bad about that. I I'm fine with horror movies, but one thing that I'm really bad at is I keep shaking my fucking camera. One thing I'm really bad at is horror video games. Fuck playing horror video games by yourself. Even the like Alan Wake games, I think you're super interesting. I love the story, but I don't want to like sit at home and play those by myself. I'm not going to play fucking Dead Space by myself. We all have our phobias of spooky shit, so don't feel bad. I think for me, it's been like you're in somewhat kind of control of the character and what happens. Like, oh, if I walk in there, shit will pop off. Rather than a movie and be like, that motherfucker's gonna die. Um, Planet Killer says for best horror movies, I'd say The Thing or Blair Witch for me. I definitely think The Thing is a worthy contender. Um, Another contender I'm gonna throw on there is The Shining. I mean, come on, that movie is classic. I got to rewatch that one soon. The acting in that's fucking hilarious. Photo Bear says Alien is a strong choice. I think so. Still sticks in the mind of classics. Somewhat speaking of Alien, yesterday I watched Predator again. Oh, I love that movie. It was one of the ones I was watching and I couldn't stop being like, "This is so fucking good." It's Arnold is the best last final girl in a horror movie ever. That movie takes the most badass, like, machismo soldiers and turns them into the stupid teenagers that are outrunning the killer and don't know what they're doing. It's great. Uh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okinaria. I'm terrible with names. Sorry. My favorite horror film is The Thing, even though it isn't fit for Halloween all that much. I think it's pretty fit for Halloween. I mean, I get because of the like snowy landscape, but just the horror elements of that. I think that was pretty fitting Halloween movie for sure. That one's pretty fucked up too. I can't watch the dog scene. That's one thing that I think most metalheads probably agree on that. We can watch people get chopped up and ripped apart. It's hilarious. And just the implication of a dog, you're like, nope, mute, look away. Ricardo says Trick or Treat 1986. So cheesy but metal. Plus cameos from Ozzy and Gene Simmons. It's starting to become a Halloween tradition for me. Would you believe that I have never seen that movie? And I actually didn't even know that it had anything to do with metal. So I'm probably going to watch that today since I was completely clueless on that. Son of a bitch. Make fun of the new generation for not knowing shit, and then I don't know shit. Susan says American Werewolf in London, classic. Love the transformation scene. Very fitting band to listen to Powerwolf to. Hellraiser 1 and 2, An American Werewolf in London, Nightmare Before Christmas. Fair enough. What's some other good ones that I loved watching? Fuck, I'm terrible with this shit. Jeepers Creepers. Come on. Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2 are great. I think there's more that are probably not great, but the first two are great. Missile Girl, The Thing might be my favorite horror movie. Great choice. Uh, Planet Killer, haven't had the chance to see any of the Evil Dead movies yet. Oh, you've got to get on it. The first one is great, low budget. She's like made what they could. The second one, I feel embraces a lot more the like comedy and silliness of it. I actually think the second one might be my favorite. And then Army of Darkness is just full on fucking ridiculous. Um, there's Ash versus Evil Dead, the show that I have never watched for some reason. I don't know why. And then they made one what, like 2019? That was actually quite good. But the originals, 1, 2, and Army of Darkness, gotta check those out. Matt Griffin says the original uncut My Bloody Valentine is pretty sweet to watch on Halloween. That's a good choice. Um, doing here. Bad Taste and Brain Dead, epic movies by Peter Jackson. Didn't he made some other horror one I'm trying to remember. Oh no, I'm not thinking Peter Jackson. I'm thinking Sam Raimi still with Drag Me to Hell. That was a fun movie. I'll have to check those ones out. There was another one that's good for metalheads. I don't know if I'd really call it horror, at least not for us, but Troll Hunter. If people haven't seen that movie, that is a fucking great movie. It's a found footage, like Blair Witch Project type of thing. I believe it's Norwegian, but instead of witches, it's trolls, and it's really well done. Where you might be tricked in being like, this might be real found footage, but it does have that spooky element where people like do get ripped apart by fucking trolls. Uh, that's a good one. That's a really fun cheese movie to watch. One I have to throw out there since we keep talking about Evil Dead, classic stuff. Homage, perfect homage to classic horror is Cabin in the Woods. If you guys have not seen that movie, that is a movie that when it was coming out, there was a trailer for it. I thought this was going to be fucking stupid throwaway, like Didn't care at all. And then it came out, people were telling me it was actually really good. And I watched it. It is one of my favorite Halloween movies ever. Uh, it's a comedy. It's definitely a comedy. I wouldn't describe it horrors anyway, but holy fuck, it's just so entertaining. It's so good that like I can't if you haven't seen it, I don't want to tell you what happens because not knowing makes it so much better. But definitely check out Cabin in the Woods. High recommend. I want to give a shout out to this comment. Goat McGoat says non-scary but great Halloween movie Tucker and Dale versus Evil. That's another one. Yeah. If you like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, you'll like Cabin in the Woods. Pretty similar to where horror and gore, but not like scary. But yeah, that movie's fucking so funny. These like stupid kids go to a cabin in the woods, and there's these rednecks there, and it does not go how you would think it would go. It's very hilarious. Chippo says, "Scary movies is my cup of tea on Halloween." I love the old school ones. I've been like, I'll pull up Vincent Price, Elvira's stuff. It's really sets the mood. I think a lot, especially Elvira. Um, I totally get what you said about horror games. I'm the exact same way, but I still play them anyway. Like if one has a really good story, I'm tempted to play it. I'm all about story when it comes to video games, but I'm just a giant coward when it comes to that. Lost and Slaughtered. Imagine Predator versus Jason Voorhees. That would be pretty entertaining. There needs to just make like a big giant one of Freddy versus Jason versus Alien versus Predator versus Hellraiser versus fucking whoever else is new. The fucking clown from Terrifier. All that shit. That was actually the original ending to Freddy versus Jason was supposed to be uh they both like kill each other and get dragged down to hell and they're gonna fight each other and then Pinhead appears in the middle and like referees for him. I'm not making that up. That's actually what I heard. That would have been cool. Oh, and I'm a big sucker for Japanese horrors. Uh Dark Water, The Phone, Ringu. Oh man, I am definitely a huge fucking coward when it comes to that. I'm not fucking with Japanese horror at all. Just because I know how intense they are with it. Um, yeah, I can't handle that shit. Props to you. I've heard the stories. I've seen some of them, or not some of them. I've seen like clips where I'm like, nope, can't do that shit. I know I'm the savior of metal, the bestower of evil and black metal upon the shitty mainstream world, and I can't handle that Japanese horror shit. That's another level. Trick or Treat 1986 has been on my Halloween list for years, but every year I just never get around to seeing it. Yeah, that's how I am with so many bands and movies and stuff. It's like, oh, I really want to check that out, and then years go by, and many moons pass, and still doesn't happen. What's the best band for Halloween? I'm gonna say Rob Zombie, but I want to shout out some other bands that aren't metal too because I fucking love Mad Sin, Necromantics. I think Twin Temple are great for Halloween. Um, there was others I wanted to say. I can't remember. King Dude. Um, more I can't think of. Pretty much all industrial bands. Troll Hunter fucking rules. Thank you. Yeah, that movie is fantastic. It is weirdly well done, I want to say. Planet Killer says saw a video collage of scenes from Werewolf in London where I was in like second grade and it gave me nightmares for days. Yeah, right. I definitely understand what you mean. Where No Life Dwells says just showed my girlfriend Cradle of Fear. Great B stuff if you're in Cradle of Filth, but definitely will give you a few laughs. Yeah, I think I saw that movie once when I like was getting into metal and was probably like 17 or something. So I can't fucking at all remember uh what actually happens in it, but that would be hilarious to watch again. Damn, I gotta remember that. If maybe I can crank out a quick video of my thoughts on some of these metal horror Halloween stuff. Missile Girl says, "Pretty sure we watched Troll Hunter together like 20 years ago." Yeah, I think you're probably right. Missile Girl has revealed herself to be a good friend of mine. I'm gonna dox you now. Planet Killer says, "Cabin in the Woods is a banger. That movie does not get old. It's so fucking good." That's really my um what I like the most is the horror themed but like comedy movie ones. That's really what appeals to me. Obviously, it's not horror in any way, but I love Adam's Family. Uh, yeah, I'm more if it's got something funny to it. That's definitely my type of thing. There was a one-time planning for Freddy versus Jason versus Ash after the first. Yeah, I've heard about that. I saw some of the videos of like Bruce Campbell talking about that. That would be amazing, but it didn't work out. There is a cool for comic fans. There's Marvel Zombies, and that has Ash in it. And the story is like Ash, for somehow through the Necronomicon, got sent to the Marvel universe, and he has to like warn everyone. And they don't believe him, and then they all fucking get killed. It's pretty entertaining. uh, Comment here. Gotta go now, but I can't leave without mentioning Suspiria. Oh, and the game Silent Hill 2, best horror story in my opinion. Yeah, the Silent Hill games are next level for sure. Many childhoods were traumatized over late nights playing those games. I'm awesome says, I love horror movies that have to do with the water. You are a stronger person than me. I do not. Fuck the water. Uh, like Jaws, I will never watch that movie. Fuck no. I don't know. The water is creepy. It's terrifying. There's real shit down there. I'd rather be in space than the fucking water. Speaking of that, another great Halloween movie. Uh, kind of metal, you could say. Event Horizon. Come on. I don't remember if they actually play any metal in that movie. I kind of wouldn't be surprised if they do, but oh man, I can tell you that movie definitely inspires Dark Insanity a lot, which is how fucked up it is. Um, that's definitely a long time classic, super. That movie will give you plenty of nightmares for sure. Kind of metal too, not really horror, but works is the Underworld movies. Kind of more metal in terms of style rather than horror, but at least that first one's fucking really good. Um, I'm trying to think of more like metal horror stuff. I'm very intrigued to watch this Trick or Treat movie now. Planet Killer says, I have a fear of deep water, so I could never watch anything around that. Yep, that is exactly me. None of the fucking shark movies, none of that shit. Can't do it. I'm fine with like ghosts, demons, killers, aliens, fucking whatever. Just nope. Oh, Ricardo's a good mention here. It's literally Alien meets Hellraiser when you think about it. Event Horizon, yeah. That's a really good description of it, actually. It's got the perfect blends of fucking with your mind, also having really fucking terrifying shit happens to you. But were some more? Trying to remember. Can't think of shit. What do you guys think of the Rob Zombie movies like House of a Thousand Corpse, Devil's Rejects? I think Devil's Rejects has a better story, but House of a Thousand Corpse is just like straight torture porn. If you're having a Halloween party, I feel like you put on House of a Thousand Corpse, and it's a great background look over. Oh, that's horrible, and continue. Missile Girl says, I cannot pronounce this shit, but I know it is the Fear of the Dark Water, uh, Deep Water. Yep. Even though I've been on 70,000 tons of metal, definitely have that. I always have that thought where I'm on that cruise. I at night when it's just dark, walk over to the outside of the ship, look over the rail. You just see like some ocean and blackness. And I always think that's literally my worst nightmare right there. I like here, awesome metal festival, there, the worst thing I could possibly imagine. Linda says, "What's up, man? Hey, thanks for tuning in. Um, have you ever watched The Fourth Kind? I have not. I'm not even sure what that one is. No, it does not ring a bell. Oh, Chippo says recently saw Talk to Me and thought that movie was pretty good. I recommend. This rings a bell, but for some reason that reminded me. I think similar title, maybe same company. I saw the movie Smile, the new one that came out I think last year. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that one. Um, it's not a great movie. You definitely have to put aside some of like misses here, but I recommend that one. If you like good kind of mental fuck you up type of shit, that's a good one. Murder Party 2007 is highly underrated, mostly an indie film, kind of bloody but funny at the same time. Nice. Uh, I recommend Dead Snow too. I remember all my friends were like freaking out when that movie came out, just Nazi zombies. Who doesn't love that? Hyundai, hey, damn, I forgot the podcast. Better late than never, I guess. Hey, at least you tuned in. Thanks for checking it out. Uh, do I have any more horror stuff to recommend? Not really. I did not give a band recommendation Halloween for Ghost, even though I'm sure they are on most people's list nowadays. Um, I do still like their earlier stuff a bit, but they just went in such a weird fucking direction now. Yeah, if you're having a party with a bunch of normies, you're trying to hook up with some girl who definitely does not like metal, you can play Ghost. That will probably be your best bet. Someone shouted out Candlemass earlier too, and yeah, I definitely want to put that on there. I love Candlemass. Pentagram, if you're all just sitting around stoned for Halloween, Pentagram's a good one to put on. Uh, it kind of sounds kind of crazy, but it shows in parts real footage of people getting abducted by aliens. Ooh, you have got my attention. Well, if we were talking about horror, have you seen Dog Soldiers? It's a werewolf film. No, but that sounds cool. I want to jot these down really quick. Dog Soldiers and this alien one because I love alien shit. Um, what was the one that was, oh, Fourth Kind, okay. Got some good recommendations from you guys here. Thanks. Lost and Slaughtered says my Halloween playlist is basically Marilyn Manson, Mushroom Head, Rob Zombie. Yep, perfect. You know, late '90s, early 2000s, basically solid. Zombie, Murder Dolls. Yeah, I still like Murder Dolls' first album. That one's awesome. It's really stupid, fun, campy, you know, but those I feel like those songs are just kind of imprinted in my DNA at this point. Planet Killer says my autistic ass will probably just end up info dumping if Ghost ever came up. That's pretty good. We know how well that always works at parties. Oh, okay, yeah, I have to. 1408 and Identity. I fucking love both of these movies. This was John Cusack, big fan of his acting, despite how batshit insane he's gone over the last couple of years. He's made some of my favorite fucking movies. And 1408, oh god, awesome horror film. More psychological, but that movie will fuck with your head. Um, Same with Identity too. That's kind of like a I guess sort of a who done it, but it's definitely more horror like spooky shit than just kind of like, you know what I mean, probably, hopefully. Highly recommend those. Where No Life Dwells says I've watched Cannibal Holocaust and Cannibal Ferox. I haven't even heard of that one. Once as a teenager, but damn, don't think I could sit through those animal scenes again. Yep, that is why I have not seen those movies. I feel like everyone who's into metal knows what Cannibal Holocaust is. It's a really fucked up, practically snuff film. Practically. Uh, and I have not watched that one. um, what is more? Shit, I know I have more horror movies that like I want to pull up and put on because they're fucking great. I can't fucking think of them. There was a good one called I think it was called Zombie Strippers. um, it starred, I believe, Pamela Anderson and Robert Englund. That was fun. That was real shit. Like probably made for $50 movie. Planet Killer. Oh my god, the first Halloween movie just got added to Swedish Netflix. Oh, cool, nice. Yeah, a lot of people put that on the top list. When I went to Milwaukee Metal Fest, I was late for my flight, which was really annoying. But so I'm in a hurry. I'm running through LAX, and I literally bumped into John Carpenter. And it took me a second to be like, oh, and he looked exactly how you'd expect him to, like same clothes and everything. That was interesting. I didn't even like say anything. Just bumped him like, oh shit. um, Lost and Slaughtered says, can we all agree the Scream franchise has become hugely popular again? Yeah. Don't they have they? I know they had just had a new one come out, and I think fairly recent, last like 4 or 5 years before that. My friends who are really into horror seem like they really liked them. Oh, I should give that a shout out here. See if I could pull that up to show you guys. But friends of mine do a horror podcast called the Horrible People's Podcast, where they'll take one horror movie and kind of like break it down, tell their thoughts on it. It's really fun. I've been on the podcast a couple times, and I think it was last year. I did a whole episode for them on horror and its relation to music and how they've grown together. Uh, I want to pull that up and give them a shout out. You should check them out if you're into that kind of thing. Horrible People's Podcast. I am. Oh, here we go. Link this shit. Show you guys what the hell I'm talking about. So these are my friends, Horrible People's Podcast. You can find them on Spotify and all of these listening things. Check them out. They're good people. And sometimes I get to appear on the show and talk a lot. Oh, yeah, I was on that episode of They Live. That was cool. Check them out. Great people. Great for Halloween stuff. These comments here. As a kid, 28 Weeks Later freaked me out, especially the song that plays during it. The first one, 28 Days Later, for sure. I know a lot of people rave about that movie. I feel like I'd need to watch it again, but I think it had just too much shaky cam for me. But I want to give that another shot. Because I did used to really like zombie stuff back when it was cool. I watched The Walking Dead back when it was a good show 150 years ago. I remember when zombies were a thing that were interesting. Planet Killer says, what do you think about the Creep movies? I have not seen those, so I can't comment on them. No idea. Shit, what was I going to say? Tim says, not a metal band, but AFI are a great Halloween band, or at least they were until they did December Underground. Yeah, they're a band I never got into. Saw them recently when I used to work at an arena here in LA, and they recently played one of their old albums. I don't fucking know. I definitely heard back in their old day they were cooler. Creepshow is definitely a classic. I will check that one out. I'm trying to think. You know what I thought was a good one? It was new, but Doctor Sleep was surprisingly good. And I felt like it did not need to be affiliated with The Shining in any way. It's one of those movies where actually, no, I think the story was written as a direct sequel, but at the end of the movie, they shove in a lot of Shining references where it's kind of like, whoa, in case you didn't know. And it really didn't even need to do that. I was actually really enjoying that movie. And then I got there and it kind of felt almost kind of key dangly in a way, as I like to describe on my film channel. Uh, but besides that, that's a really good twisted horror psychological film, especially if you're a Shining fan. Like when they did the slight nodges to it, it was good, and then when they like shoved it in, it was like okay. Where no life dwells, here's a zombie movie pitch for you. The zombie apocalypse happens during 70,000 tons of metal. A society of isolated metalheads trapped on the ocean for years. Think about this every time I'm working 70K. I actually used to joke about that. I used to play Call of Duty Zombies a lot. I spent hours of my teenage years playing that shit. And they had one level that I think was either the Titanic or a cruise ship. It was one of them. I think it was the Titanic. And yeah, I would always joke that it was 70,000 tons of metal and run around just gunning down zombies. And then I think the following year when I went on 70,000 tons, Bloodbath played in the Studio B, and I was definitely having flashbacks to the game and being like, "This is like exactly the same thing." Oh. A good metalhead zombie movie would be fucking awesome, especially something like that. All metalheads on the boat, we're just ripping apart with guitars, playing the drums. Like, eventually, it would get to the point where we're kind of just like a scavenger tribe, where we've almost become part of the zombies. We'll raid other ships of survivors and throw like zombie heads on. We'll be like an all-out wasteland on board a ship. I'm gonna write this movie. This is a great idea. Chippo says not Halloween related, but we got announcements that Deathgasm 2 and Metal Trips 2 are in the makings right now. I have not seen those. Origins is the best map in Call of Duty Zombies. Come at me. What was that one? Remind me what level that was. Because I definitely was obsessed about that shit. Zombies. God damn it, come on. Oh, I never even played this level. I dropped out of the Call of Duty game before I got to this point, but I was too old school for that now. I used to be a much bigger gamer back in the day, and then when it got too much about like point systems and online and how many headshots can you get in a second, I didn't give a shit. I just wanted to run around and have fun. But man, does it bring back good memories. Ricardo says Deathgasm, heavily taking inspiration from Evil Dead and Trick or Treat. Oh, that sounds awesome. I will watch that. Speaking of that, I think I should probably get back to work on my best bands for Halloween video, which will be coming very soon, and probably gonna go watch Trick or Treat later, to be honest. But I think that's it for this episode of the Wyatt's Metal Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I hope you have an awesome Halloween of throwing metal albums at children and doing drugs and crimes, sacrificing virgins, all that fun stuff. Make sure it's very family friendly. I hope everyone has a fun Halloween, and check out my band Dark Insanity. Check out the channel. Spread my videos as much as you want. I appreciate it. Check out my other channel, Film Rebel. Just had a fucking hilarious conversation over there. Stay metal, and I will see you guys later.